What's up, everybody? My name is Alejandro Pacheco and welcome aboard to this episode of the Business Airbus podcast and YouTube videos, where I'm documenting my journey in how to become a successful entrepreneur and how I can help business owners. On today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about the stock market. Yesterday, we were talking about some platforms that I use or that I've been using the past year when I want to buy shares. Just a quick disclaimer, anything that I say on this episode should not be considered as a financial advice. This is only based on my own opinion and my own experience. If you are looking for a financial advice, I would recommend you to speak to an authorized financial advisor. Okay, so on today's video, I want to talk about some websites and platforms and resources that I use just to get the knowledge about stock market. Look, I know this podcast and YouTube videos is pretty much more my journey in how to become a successful entrepreneur. Part of this is that I want to buy assets for the future. So that's why shares for me are part of those assets. Even though I'd rather real estate, I just can't buy anything right now because of my visa conditions. But for the stock market, I'm allowed to buy some shares. So, you can do those on direct broking, ASB Securities, or Sharesies, which I will leave the links here below, that you can register with them, but remember they have some fees. Okay? On today's episode, it's about the websites and some places where you can find information if you are looking to start doing this about the stock market, if you want to invest, which I recommended yesterday and I will recommend you again. Be careful when you are doing this. Please do your own research before investing any kind of money. Okay, so the first platform that I use is a free course that you can find on internet. These people are based in United States. And this course, I did it like a half just to learn some basics about investing. And their website is BuffetBooks.com. BuffetBooks.com. And they have like a podcast, they have like a courses that you need to pay, but I would recommend you just go for the free one. It will teach you or give you an idea of the basic things about the stock market, right? So it's like a balance sheets, assets, liabilities, all those things that you need to keep in mind about companies before investing. That's why I recommend you do your own research when you want to invest. The second platform is Investopedia. This website is pretty much when I don't know any term, I pretty much can find it on Investopedia. And that website is really good. It's like the glossary for investments. Any kind of type of terminologies for investment, you can find it there in that website. Investopedia.com. The third platform that I use to find information, this is more for New Zealand based. So if you want to invest on the New Zealand stock market, what I usually do is I go to the stock exchange here in New Zealand on the website, and I go to announcements and I started reading a couple of them. Look, I don't usually do this because I'm not into this. I'm just showing you the tools that you can find out there so you can start doing it if you are interested in doing it. So, as I said, this is no financial advice or anything like that. This is just my own opinion and my own experience where I've been finding this information. And I just want to share with you, which is part of my journey on sharing with you on this podcast and YouTube videos. And the last one is a podcast that I've been listening for few months already. And I know this person. His name is Jeremy Medlin, and he has his own podcast about the stock market here in New Zealand. His podcast is called stockmarketmovers.co.nz. You can go to his website and you can start listening to his podcasts, which are really good. He gives you a really overview of what's happening with different type of companies every week, pretty much. So I would advise you, I would recommend you, to go and listen to him because he's really good. I met Jeremy last year, the very first time I met him at the New Zealand Shareholders Association, which you need to pay like a subscription per year. So you're allowed to go to the meetings with people that are investing on the stock market here in New Zealand. So I met Jeremy because I was researching information about the stock market and I came across with his podcast. I started listening and I saw his photo on the podcast that he has. And then on that event, the first event that I went for the New Zealand Shareholders Association, I recognized him and I introduced myself. I remember after the event, with a couple more people, we were talking about the stock market, and he is full of knowledge and he's so humble. He can share with you a lot of things. Just go to his podcast and start listening to them. You will learn a lot. He's really cool. I remember I met him again on the second meeting this year, 2020, before this crisis, and we were just talking in general how the podcast is going, and for him it's really good because he has the chance to interview CEOs or important people related to any kind of companies. So I would recommend you to go listen to his podcast if you are interested to invest in the New Zealand stock market. So pretty much those are the main resources that I use to find information and keep an idea of what's happening during any movement with the stock market. And I have that overview of different companies thanks to these platforms that I use. So the first one, the BuffetBooks, is pretty much just to start getting the knowledge and just the basics pretty much. Just go for the basic course and you just go through them and you will learn a couple of things. And the second one is the Investopedia, just to get some terminologies that maybe you can understand. So that place is the best one. The third one is the same New Zealand stock market website here in New Zealand, where you can read the announcements if you are interested to invest in New Zealand, of course. And Jeremy Medlin, his podcast is Stock Market Movers, which I would recommend you to listen if you want to have an overview of what's happening with different companies every week. He posts his episodes every week, I think every Friday or every Sunday. I'm not sure when, but it's like end of the week. You can listen to him. Cool, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please follow me on Instagram, alejandro.pachecos, with the letter S at the end, alejandro.pachecos. And Business Airbus is the Instagram account for these podcasts and YouTube videos. Please also, we have a Spotify account. Find us as a Business Airbus and please add this podcast to your favorite list. And thank you for watching and thank you for listening for the people on the podcast. And I'll see you in my next episode.